This computer is very annoying and very slow, and I am feeling so tired today. I don't know why. I bought a new bike yesterday, which is so nice. The last bike that I bought last summer, and I was assuming that it looked quite nice in the picture, but yeah, when I got there, I noticed that it looked a lot more scratched than it did. It was almost like they bought it 2 years ago for on eBay, and then when reselling it 2 years later, gave it to his son for a few years, and then resold it with the same picture. Only it didn't look quite in the same position, but I was thinking it was quite a poor area, and I think he needed the money more than I did, so I didn't complain. But yeah, I can't believe this. I don't know. It was very heavy and it didn't have the handle. There was this thing that I liked about the old bike that I had. It had a nice handle where you could lift it up over a curb. And there were some things that I didn't like, but I'm really happy with this new one because there's no scratches. It looks new, secondhand, yes, but it's definitely much nicer, and it's much lighter as well. But yeah, my dad wanted when we're going away for a week, and my dad wanted a bike to use, and his bike doesn't fold, so he wanted a fold up bike. But I'm so tired. I'm happy with the bike. And I'm so tired. Yesterday I went to Botanical Gardens and just did an hour walk when picking up the bike, but I just came back really really tired, and I'm really really tired still. And well, so yeah, I just went downstairs. There's a nice my bed that downstairs with the nice new cover, the sort of fruit on type cover is amazing. And I was about to make a video, and then my mum started talking to me about things she can't. She's word vomit. She just talks and talks and talks, and I've got a bit more information that she didn't tell me last year, which is the people from Africa, the family from Africa, which is the father's brother, I think, father's brother and his wife wanted to adopt Leo, and they got a solicitor to try and get this involved and try and prove that Africa was safe. And I just found out from my mum now that actually one of the complications that she didn't tell me about was that the solicitor was actually very afraid of Africa, and something happened to his family that made him want to run off during the case, and he ended up going to Canada for safety reasons and stuff. So yeah, I think that's a really bad sign for Africa, the fact that the father's brother and wife were trying to adopt a child, and were trying to prove that it was safe for a child. And I was like, yeah, you're taking a child to Africa, like in a from a safe country to Africa. That's not really where I'd want the child to go. And during that case, the solicitor that was going to help her get the child actually changed his mind about the safety of Africa and ran off to Canada. So that's a really bad sign. I don't know why my mum didn't tell me this, but I guess it's because she doesn't want me saying things online, which doesn't make any sense. But yeah, another thing she's also told me is that the foster carer of Leo really misses him, and wanted to spend more time and get stay in his life basically, and Marco's put a stop to that, which is good, the new chapter. But my mum said that last time she came over, Leo barely spoke to her, or kind of just avoided her a bit, and she wasn't very happy about that. And I just think that's a very interesting fact. If a child can live with someone for 2 years and have that person look after them, feed them, change their nappy, care for them, and within 2 months kind of blank them out, that really does show that all this care that social services are portraying, it's about the child, the child, the child, the child, the child. The fact that a child can just blank out 2 whole years of his life within 2 months really does show that the damage that might be caused on children is actually very, very minimal in comparison to the damage that it has on adults. The damage of looking after a child for 2 years, and having that child kind of not be very interested in them 2 months later. Oh, you're not giving me food now, you're not doing things for me, so now I've got a new family, I'm going to move on. I think the damage that can be caused on foster parents, on the people fostering the kids, is actually going to be greater than the damage on the child. And it's interesting how social services, I think, it's a money scam. It's we care about the child, put the child first, and in reality, the child blanks out anything. If there is shouting or mistreatment or something like this, I think when you're in the first 3 years of the child's life, the child will just blank everything out, and therefore, mistreatment, as long as it's not physical, as long as it's not long-term damage, such as, I don't know, spilling hot water on you or something. If you get if you have a bad mum and a child ends up spilling huge amounts of hot water on them and have scars or whatever, that damage is going to be permanent. But I think if there is shouting or looking down on the child, or I just don't think the child really remembers and stuff, and therefore social services are just kind of going on about the child's needs, when I feel like they're just using it as a way of trying to just make money out of the child, whilst not realizing that the damage that they're actually causing is actually being affected far more by the adults. The damage that they've caused on me by not letting me raise this child is going to be massively severe, and I will hate the human species for the rest of my life. And it's interesting how this child has been raised up by this social service, this foster carer. A foster carer that generally does care. And I think the damage that is placed on the foster carer for having to look after a child night and day, only to realise 2 months later that the child doesn't even really remember you. I feel like the damage that causes on the foster parents is far more damaging than anything that the child has gone through. And the damage that the social services have caused on me by saying that I don't have the ability to look after him, I feel like that's made me not want to look after any social services person. Like if you think, just sit in the sauna. I sat in the sauna the other day, and this woman was, I think the subject of Good Friday came up, and I just asked, why is it called, because her birthday was on Good Friday, and I said mine's on Good Friday next year, and then I asked, just why is it called Good Friday? It's just to see what she would say. I was hoping to respond. I thought she would just say, I don't know why it was called Good Friday, maybe because Jesus died and it was good for everyone else. And I thought she would say something like that, and when she didn't, I said, well, maybe it's because it's bad for him but good for everyone else, and yeah. But then she just started to go into details about, well, what it was Adam and Eve. They came and they they sinned against God, and then the world went into sin, and then Jesus came to try and get people out of sin, to make up for the mistakes that they made, and it was just so disgusting how. And then she sort of said that the importance of Jesus is not just about Jesus on the cross. It's about what Jesus did for us and the love that he showed, and how we need to live in, and just going on. I don't know how long. I lost interest as soon as she started blaming Eve for this, and there was another guy next to me who was mildly interested in Christianity, and she was just talking to him, and I really wanted to get my word in and just say that I don't believe that. I think Adam and Eve is crazy because and then she just kind of just very rude to me. I felt she was very rude to me because she wouldn't let me talk. She was talking, and then when I tried to interrupt her because I wanted to get out the jacuzzi, because I'd been in the jacuzzi for almost an hour at that point, she just said how rude I was for interrupting her, which is just made me never. I'm going to be very rude to her next time because I felt she was rude to me, and I won't let her. I'm actually at the point now where I actually just want to tell people I am God. Okay, I don't care if you want to insult me. I don't care if you want to pass on this rumor. I just want to tell them that. But it made me think I really want just a bunch of reactions, a bunch of reaction videos. I want to have some sort of, I don't want to do the Big Brother show at all. I want to see how long it takes me. If I'm having just these lots and lots of interviews with Christians, I want to focus on Christians because Christians claim to love, know something God, and they don't. And I want to have loads of videos where I'm just sitting in front of a camera and talking to people about it. But yeah, I just I that's what I want to do, um, and yeah, so and just to see how they respond, you know. I need some sort of support because I know that they're going to be very insulting towards me, and I want to maybe stay in a nice hotel and have videos set people. I want the celebrities to make a video where they try and just tell me what they know from their perspective and what happened when they found out about me. And I need to know who knows and who doesn't know, and if there are people who don't believe, you know, why don't they believe? Were they told? And I have no clue what's going on. I have no clue why you've ignored me. I have no clue why you're just helping everyone else except for me, and you seem to think that that's okay. And then to have someone sit in the jacuzzi about how amazing Jesus' suffering was, and it's just, you don't have a clue. And she wouldn't even let me talk. It was just like my views. It was almost like me saying that her view was insane. That was enough. She didn't want to hear anything more. I don't want to hear anything more. You just said my religion, my belief is this is what we believe, and you have to be respectful to our beliefs. Like it was really kind of, it was like that. And it's annoying to think that if I was to become famous as Christ and God, you know, she probably wouldn't even tell her daughter that she had that conversation. She might just say, yeah, I spoke to her about religion. I can't remember what I said. She'll probably just play it down, and she won't actually, you won't know how kind of rude she was to me about me saying that her religion is insane after she just basically blamed me for bringing sin into the world. I brought sin, you know, I was going to say that I brought sin into the world because I am God and everyone else chose to reject me as being God. You rejected Eve as being God. So the moment Eve came and this ridiculous story about a talking snake and an apple and blah, 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 blah. The moment that happened, that was the moment that sin came into the world, because that was the moment you started rejecting the truth about who God was, which God was a cave woman, and all the Bible is just a bunch of fairy tales that are kind of got truth with lies and stuff. And I want video kit. I want lots and lots of videos of me talking to people, telling them stuff. I want to hide my profile so that they can't look online. I want them to look. And then I want to say that, you know, maybe there'll be some angel exposure. You know, I don't even know what Easter celebrates. I know what Easter celebrates: bunnies, rabbits, chocolate Easter eggs. You know, this is what Easter is about. Easter has nothing to do with Christianity. I think Easter should be the first week of April, and I don't know what do Christians call it Easter, don't they? But they just think it's about Jesus and the suffering of Jesus. You know, I forget the Hebrew timings of when Christianity died, you know, Christianity, of when Jesus supposedly died, because yeah, I think if I was to have one day where I remember the death of Jesus as in the average person, it would be April Fool's Day, and it would be like God's fall. You know, we gave you Jesus and you were fooled by him. So I would say Easter should be the first day of April Fool's Day. I'm sure it's a reminder of all the people that are about to die over this religion, and then have third day being my birthday, and Easter Sunday just being the first Sunday that falls after April 2nd. And yeah, so but yeah, it's interesting how what my mum said about Leo. You know, the social services are put so much attention on the child's needs, and they don't realize that actually the child is very capable and is going to blank out and not remember almost the first 2-3, I don't remember. I think one of my earliest memories, maybe 4. I don't have any memories before my sister was born, and my sister's 4 years younger than me. I have a few memories when I was like 6. I think 6 is really the youngest memory that I have. I don't know if there was anything more, but yeah, it was very, very minimal. I remember my granddad being told that he had died, and that was when I was 6 too. So, but yeah, it's strange how the social services can put so much attention on a child's needs, when in reality the child isn't going to remember anything, but the damage that they are causing is mostly inflicted on the adults. But because they can make money out of the child's needs, um, you know,